good. Well, thank you guys for joining us in episode 2 of 6 by Nico's podcast in collaboration with BLK29. And we've now got a new title for the show. It's called Now Cooking. And today we're cooking with Julie Lin Mcleod from Julie's Kopitiam. Thanks for joining us, Julie.
Thank you for having me. This is lovely. Nice to see some faces.
Yes, we won't talk about the technical difficulties we had just there, Nico. So
no, that was a nightmare. Nightmare.
Again, just before we start, guys, the objective always is just to create a platform of some transparency for the industry, some industry topics right now. The first guest me and Nico had in mind was you, Julie, because you've obviously got you're friends of the business and friends of mine, so it's really good to have you on board. Happy 4th birthday to your business.
Oh,
sorry for celebrating it during these times. Yeah, 4 years you're celebrating, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And you can maybe tell us what you did to celebrate. But
it was a very kind of quarantine style birthday where and also because it has been 4 years, you actually tend to forget. I don't know if you get this as well, Nico, where you're like, wait a minute, that was yesterday. So I actually realised when I was on shift, ironically, with one of the first girls that I started with 4 years ago. So we just kind of realised halfway through, I think through a Facebook memory or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we were working, and then we went home because we're being responsible self-isolators other than at work. So yeah, so we actually just had a kind of very quarantine style celebration, and hopefully at the end of it we'll have a kind of bigger party whenever that is. So that'll be nice. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I think that's how most restaurants find out their birthday, by a Facebook memory.
Yeah. Birthdays these days, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were the exact same in a very kind of a very tame little glass of wine in the house on my own.
Good.
So it's good. It's good.
Cool. Well, congratulations. So just firstly, starting off, Julie, do you want to give us a quick background on your business and what the kind of last 2 weeks have looked like for you personally and businessly during the period of lockdown, and how you felt as well, if you could give us an insight to that?
Do you know, like, I think being, as I'm sure Nico will agree with me, being a kind of restaurant owner, you have to be quite reactive all the time. So you generally have like a day-to-day where there's lots of stuff happening. So in times like this, I think that's where your skills of like being quite reactive and being quite resilient, I guess, to lots of stuff happening, that kind of comes into play. So when this all started, we obviously have to think about 2 places. So I have got the Kopitiam in Shawlands, which is like, I guess, a kind of like very neighbourhoody style restaurant. We get lots of locals coming in, and it's small in size, and it means that people kind of feel like that's their, I guess, local living room restaurant, which is nice. So in terms of that, we that was the last one to close, and we obviously have a lovely kind of long residency at SWG3 as well. Now SWG3 obviously involves there being lots of events and lots of people being there, so that was the first to get closed down amidst the kind of corona outbreak, which makes sense obviously because the volume of people you've got there. So yeah, so immediately from that point we're having to kind of scale back what we do every day and figuring out, I guess, as a business, how to survive through this thing. And we've got quite a big pool of staff now, obviously just having the 2 places, and that's your kind of main focus, is just how to make sure that they're fine and everything is going as safe as it can, because I guess when you are working in food, you work around lots of people and you work around things that people consume, so you have to be super careful with your hygiene, you have to be super careful with, I guess, your practices. So immediately we had to put in quite a lot of practices, just extra practices, to be even more, I guess, kind of safe hygiene-wise over this time, because that's just the last thing that you would want. And yeah, so we're now focusing back on the Shawlands restaurant, and we're opening up as a kind of collection service. So for me, it took quite a lot of planning, and obviously as a business owner, you want to be as safe as you can. And for me, the kind of, I guess, we were getting people to do pre-orders, and the reason behind that is that I feel that the more that we have information in advance, the more that we can pre-predict people coming in and out, we can pre-predict the systems that we put in place for both the customers and the staff that we've got. So for me, that felt like the best thing to do, and especially with, again, Shawlands being so small, that's the main thing, is how to kind of minimise any risks that we have. And also we want to set up, I guess, doing some food for people who are slightly more vulnerable. I guess because we were kind of chatting about this earlier before we started, and there's the business aspect of this where you have to keep your business afloat, but also I guess the human aspect where you can see this huge pandemic happening, you can see people that are ill and people that are suffering, so you feel like it's within your kind of duty to, I guess, work to make the business survive, but also to help where you can within your community and give out meals where we can. So we're working with a couple of hotels who are housing people just to deliver food to anyone who's vulnerable at the moment as well. And yeah, so it's keeping us busy, which is very good.
Yeah, cool.
How are you working your pre-order system, Julie?
So we are actually doing like a little order form. So people have to get it in by 12 o'clock the day before. And it means everything's cooked all fresh. So we have then people in during the day to come and, I guess, prep those meals as well. And I think over this time as well, you just don't really want any waste. So that's another thing that kind of combats.
Yeah.
Is that you don't know. I mean, you could also on the flip side, because people are kind of, I guess, looking for the food that they miss. You could be super busy, or you might make loads of food that would go to waste. That just wouldn't be a good thing to do over this time. So it combats us from that as well. And also then we've got a kind of, again, because the Kopitiam is tiny, it's like a cupboard, we've got a system where people will come and pick it up in slots. So they, for example, will drop down the kind of bags and people will have a time slot to come and pick up the bag. And just to avoid kind of minimal contact as well. So it's been a big kind of long logistical thought out process, but I think the safest.
Are they collecting this food hot, or is it cold and they're reheating it?
Yeah, they're reheating it. So it means that if people, for example, want to pick it up that day but want to save it for the weekend, they can pop it in the freezer. So yeah, I guess it's just kind of giving people that flexibility as well. And I think for us being, again, so small, if we were to get orders kind of coming through as and when, it maximises the chance of people coming in and out, and I guess us not having as much control over what we can control. So I think that for me was the safest option to go forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good topic. I think you both have obviously pivoted that way and created a pre-order, pre-delivery or pick-up system for your business. What do you think there's anything else that restaurants can do just now, or is there with that, or is obviously that I think that's the safest option, but I'd like you guys to maybe discuss what you thought about prior to that, getting to that point of launching that for your businesses.
Yeah, personally, obviously, as Julie mentioned, like you've got to react to the market all the time. So your two options are a pre-order system or a delivery system that kind of acts live, almost like dominoes. But the problem with that is it's unpredicted. So, you know, if you opened up, say, even shorter hours, 4 days a week, you don't know if you're going to be busy, you don't know what's stock. So really, like, the most probably safest and best business way is to do the pre-order. You know exactly what hours you've got, you know exactly what kind of food you're bringing in that day, you're ensuring everything's fresh, and the main thing is you're ensuring consistency and quality, because as I say, this is new territory for, well, definitely for me, and I'm sure for Julie as well. Like, we've never really executed like this before, so it's just trying to play it like the best way to firstly ensure the quality, and then obviously minimize the costs. And I think that's only the real two ways. I know my brother, he's doing very well. He has a fish and chip shop. He's doing very well. He's almost doing it like that, just coming in collection, keeping full stock. But I think for a restaurant, it's much harder. Like, they're not known for that. So I think the pre-order thing is the best way to go, really, personally.
On top, trying to minimise, I guess, even just things like because you have to then think about, you don't want to have the same amount of staff on as usual, because that's, I guess, kind of going against quite a lot of, I guess, what we're being told by the government. So we've tried to start up a system where you'll get like the same 3 staff on with each other, and then the next 3 staff are always on with each other. So yeah, it's like, actually I have a lot of respect for all the takeaways now. Like, this is logistically a big change for us, so we're learning as we go. But yeah, it's definitely agree with you, just kind of the business side of it, and also just being realistic with it too. I think collection is the best.
Have you shortened your hours, Julie? Are you 7 days a week?
No, we're just going to open 4 days a week. So it just means that, I think also just with the current climate, we have completely shifted the logistics of what the team is used to every day. And also they've had to be quite reactive to that. They've had to kind of learn a whole new kind of system every day when they're used to the same thing all the time. So I think just 4 days for us will do for just now. And it means that we can test it out and just, I guess, keep on learning as we would with anything, just keep on learning the ways to make it a bit more systematic and a bit more kind of clean and easier for all staff. So yeah, we are just going to keep it through the weekend at the moment. And then if it's, I guess, depending on what happens with the kind of climate of how everything's going, we'll just judge it and see. And again, I think this is where our kind of restaurant reactiveness comes into play, where you just have to go day by day, look at the new kind of updates from the government every day and continue on from there.
And what was the run up to the lockdown for you, Julie? Did you trade right up to the Friday where they made the announcement, or did you make the conscious decision, you kind of seen where it was going and closed before? Like, what was your kind of preparation, say, for the week up? Like, we were obviously watching at 5 o'clock and we were coming up with plans, and every day it was just an announcement would happen at 5 o'clock and the plan would change. It was, yeah, I kind of didn't sink home till about 3 days before until we thought, right, this is actually going to happen soon. So,
and I think that was the joke that we had. I had running with the team where I was like, listen, this is today's plan, but in half an hour's time that might be completely different. We're just going to wait and see what the government says. So actually, in the run up to it, we stopped doing a sit-in service and we ended up just doing collection and takeaways. And that was actually before they had announced that restaurants and stuff had to close. So it meant that we were kind of ready for this already. And it was just good because it meant that gave us like a kind of 2-week window to get prepared for all of this really, and get our systems in place and get how we want to run that in place. It was kind of like one of those weird decisions that actually made sense without knowing the future. So it was quite good. Yeah, and I guess with the kind of on the weeks up to it as well, just to go back to that, we obviously had so at that point, obviously you're looking at the kind of staff's hours and how to like juggle having a huge team into one place kind of thing. But now obviously this makes a lot more sense just with all the kind of government updates that we've had. So yeah, it was a couple of weeks of complete ups and downs, and as you say, you're waiting every day at 5 o'clock to hear what's going on, and then you have to rewrite your entire scripted plan that you've had for that kind of new set of rules. But I guess that's the fun of it, and like I think coming out of this, it'll make everyone extremely resilient and extremely kind of adaptable as well. So it's been very good for that on the positive notes, definitely.
Yeah, cool. And Julie, just away from the takeaways, what else are you kind of investing your time on? Like last week, to give you a bit of context, me and Nico spoke about he's investing his team to do like a customer relations, community management strategy with always customers that have cancelled through this, so they're communicating on a one-to-one level. We're obviously doing bits of content like this, and I saw on your Instagram you've been asking for video equipment and stuff like that. So you're obviously up to something else away from just serving food. There's a kind of content play here for most restaurants that they can invest in definitely while this time is obviously in lieu. So do you want, what else have you been doing?
Well, I'm a big believer that sharing recipes is probably the best thing. And now I know that people might be able to cook the stuff that we cook in the restaurant at home, but like that's the beauty of restaurants, which is exactly what, if you see it now, what people are missing, the kind of like the atmosphere, the buzz of sitting in a candlelit restaurant with like friends and like, and people might learn to cook. So basically I'm doing like kind of set of recipes for the stuff that we cook in the Kopitiam, and the true belief that like I feel like the atmosphere and the kind of love that you create in restaurant will bring people back eventually, even if they can cook an amazing nasi goreng by the end of this with all of the same ingredients. I think that's a huge part of it. And you're seeing there's quite a lot of places actually that I've seen are putting up their own like kind of baking recipes, their own bread recipes. And I just think, I mean, cooking is one of the things that is keeping people sane for quite a lot of folk, just because it's structured and there's routine to it, and it gives you like a purpose to think about in the morning, and it gives you a purpose to think about the afternoon and the yeah, for me that's essentially what I'll be doing, just putting up some, and even stuff that I cook in the house that is how I was doing the restaurant, just the kind of basic soups and stuff that I'll do myself, and that's been the kind of nice thing to do, adapt your work, I guess.
Yeah.
Sammy, I want to throw something back at you because you touched on something there, saying basically like obviously there's a window of opportunity here for a kind of online strategy. I know obviously through conversation for yourself, a lot of clients have your clients have stopped probably producing content. There's not a better time just now to be creative in content, because you're never ever going to actually have as much attention in the marketplace at the one time because of this lockdown. Again, it's reacting to the market. Everyone's at home. Everyone's aware on Facebook looking for content. So, like, yeah, why do you think that is, and what do you think the importance of like keeping the content going through this is, basically?
I actually think about this a lot, and I was trying to break it down the other day, and the way I look at it is, right now, restaurants can't sell their food, so they're not taking money in through the till. So previously they would trade on currency, whereas right now they can trade on engagement. Engagement right now is at very low cost. It's on social, it's on Facebook. There's numerous touch points businesses can have with their customers, because let's think about it, right now there would be thousands of people eating out in restaurants. They don't have that just now. So you can now communicate with them in a different way. There's that same group of people would be eating out. So whether you do, as we spoke about last week, your one-to-one emails, or even engage on different platforms like LinkedIn or YouTube, you're basically creating conversations with the people that could be in your restaurant. And that is the kind of experience the restaurants are built up on, is that one-to-one customer experience inside the restaurant. Now there's an opportunity to take that outside digitally and have the same conversations with these people and create that same brand affinity, which will longer term have you play out longer term for your kind of businesses. And I think another good thing to touch on is the fact that both your names, or me and Julie spoke about this, are on the door. It actually puts you in a better position because you've built that trust in the content. Julie, your Instagram's been booming for years, for your just posting, having your tone of voice, having your voice to it. Now is an opportunity for all these other businesses that haven't done that to do that, to leverage that, to create their dishes at home, their cocktails, and have their voice translate onto their channels, which I think would be a long-term play for kind of restaurants to kind of invest in.
But I think as well, it's a mindset thing. When things are going like this, people think defensive. So they think, cut costs, let's not invest in social media, cut costs. Yeah, it's just interesting to see, like, because people obviously see social media, and it is a golden era at social media just now because the cost of investment for return of engagement, but people just still see it as a cost, as an outlay, instead of seeing it as an investment. And that's what surprises me, is like in a time like this, personally, I'd be doubling down. If I had a £1,000 a week retainer, I'd be doubling it just now, because this isn't going to bring any, it's just giving value to the customers, giving insight, content, kind of building it like that. But it's just when you touched on that, I just wanted to touch on, I just don't
I think it just makes sense for businesses to still create that touch point with a customer that would be in their restaurant during this period. Because if we go on for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, where a restaurant is not serving a customer, that's going to have like a long, like not being able to communicate with those people that you would communicate to on a regular basis. It's obviously going to have a negative effect, whereby you can take what it is and communicate with them elsewhere, whether you do polls or questionnaires or surveys or ask them their opinion, what dishes and all, cooking at home. And obviously it's a difficult one because the investment, obviously a lot of restaurants are in a position where they don't know when they're next going to open. So investing in something where you don't have the money is hard, but there's opportunity to literally create content from their home. And we've seen it. I've worked with a couple of people who are doing it, and the engagement is next level. 800,000 comments on posts, which is generally somebody using an iPhone to make a cocktail in their kitchen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
and that
Julie
is
manages her own Instagram, so that's a perfect
exactly
example. Where you
That's
don't
why
have
it's a
to
good
you don't have to outsource it. You can
No,
just
exactly.
stay.
I think, like, from also thinking about it from the point of view of people who are sitting in the house as well. So, like, your videos, when they come out, like, I always get that moment of being like, oh, right, okay, what's the new one now? What's the new, like, theme?
Yeah.
It's like, people don't lose interest in that just because they can't go to it. It'll just, I think, give people, like, a reason to be excited. And, like, from a very kind of, like, I guess, non-business side of it, people are looking to still be excited about what's going to happen on the other end. So, like, going back to normal life and, like, going back to favorite restaurants, getting favorite dishes. And I think from the other side of it, where like it has always just been me doing our social media. And there's been points where I haven't, and just like yourself, being completely honest, like when you're waiting for a government update or you're waiting for what the next thing is. I remember very vividly, there was one day where I was thinking, right, I need to post something to let people know what's going to happen, but I actually don't know what's going to happen before 5 o'clock. And I don't know what that'll mean for us. And I don't know so I just put up a post saying that I didn't know. And this is where we're at. And we're actually trying to figure out as we go and just being honest with people as well. I think that honesty on social media is invaluable for just being, especially even with the business, for ourselves, Nico, just saying like, actually, yeah, we're missing everyone and we're missing the buzz and we're missing being in the kitchen.
Yeah. It's got to be raw. It's got to be raw. It's got to be, yeah. It's a different. Obviously, it's adapting, as you say, but aye, that's it.
Yeah.
Again,
And do you think? Sorry, Julie, carry on. And see, as we discuss this, do you think like what kind of longer lasting effects do you see on like this having on? Do you think it will change after this? Do you think people will be more digitally and socially focused to create those audience so they can communicate better online or be set up for online? Or how do you see that moving or shifting? Do you think that will be a long-term thing, or is it just short-term?
I think it might be a long-term thing. I think that something like this, I guess, from our generation, I'm going to age bracket us roughly all the same right now. I could be completely wrong, but like this is like a big thing to happen, I guess, from our generation. And I think that in terms of how we go forward, like I guess social media and businesses, it feels like it's actually got a heck of a lot more personal right now. So like people are being very open and honest about like, okay, this is a sad time for us, we're having to close, but actually we are looking forward to doing this and this again. Actually, if you're missing our focaccia, here's our focaccia. Or if you're missing our like fried rice dish, here that is. And I think that kind of personal aspect on social media is really nice actually. Like, I guess like I think that'll maybe adapt things for the future because people are seeing a more vulnerable side which you wouldn't ordinarily see. And people are seeing, I guess, a side where we're closed and we're scrambling together in our heads how we get through this. And that in itself is quite a nice thing. So I think the whole thing will become a bit more personal. Definitely, just from the go-get. But hopefully we'll all come in a couple of years, we'll be like, remember that time where this was all so bad and now you all have to catch a recipe and I can't get it back. Yeah, so I think it's a fairly good thing overall. And I think it's just about saying to businesses that, yeah, actually you can still be, I wouldn't want to, I guess marketing's maybe the wrong thing because there is that argument where people are saying, okay, is marketing the wrong thing to do right now in this current climate? And I don't think you can call it marketing right now because I think it is actually just being straight up and honest, and that's one of the kind of main things. And actually still using, as you're saying, I guess like social media companies and your own social media and everything to, I guess, express that is really important right now. You can. It's not marketing in the same way. It's actually just keeping in contact with people.
Communication.
Yeah, I mean, like we're all like sitting in our living rooms over a video call right now, talking to each other, which is actually kind of nice. It's opening this new communication with people which we wouldn't have had otherwise. We probably would have met up for a coffee or something once in a blue moon, and we probably would have ran around crazy trying to create a half-hour window so you and Nico could all have a cup of coffee. So this is actually kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Nico?
No, yeah, it's just, what was the question again?
In terms, like, obviously right now it's kind of a bit of a grey area, but like as this prolongs, like because I guess you guys have pivoted into this pre-order delivery or pickup system, and I think other brands and restaurants are going to move into that space pretty quickly over the next couple of weeks. Do you feel that that will have a longer lasting effect within the industry? Do you think businesses will see this as an extra part of their business, or is it just going to go back to that was just a short-term thing? We're going to.
No, I personally, I don't see it. It's such unique circumstances. So I don't know, if you've done, for easy maths, 10 sales a week in collections, like when things open back up, I think it'd be silly to think you'd still do 10 sales a week. It's a very unique time just now. I think people are, we're in a kind of market and a kind of so unique that people are just, they're dying to go out. Everyone, obviously, they're staying home, they're doing the right thing, they're keeping safe, but people still love the experience of a restaurant. And this is just the next best thing. It's like what we kind of said about the Nico at home. It's bringing that kind of, trying to bring the restaurant experience to your dining room table in the best way possible. So it is going to these, I think there's a market for it just now, but whether when restaurants open up, like, are people, it's going to be different, isn't it? They're all going to want to go back out to the restaurants. I don't know if it's something that's going to be like a delivery collection thing. I think if we think it's going to do as well now, when everything opens back up, I don't think that's going to happen personally. But
cool.
Yeah. I think people will be desperate to at least see other faces than who they're self-isolating with. So
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think maybe longer term, the speed and the content creation process that businesses might have, or restaurants might have followed in the past could be something that they could invest in longer term, like business owners doing stuff from their phone, and as you said, Julie, honesty and coming across and maybe giving themselves a tone of voice, I think could be a longer term change, definitely, because I've seen a lot of restaurants do that, the owners from their house who haven't really been shown on social media before starting to show themselves, and it's probably going to have a longer term benefit, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. When restaurants do open back up, what do you think you should be doing to get yourself in the best position to, like, because obviously the kind of the grey area just now is like, is it just going to be a case of open back up, or do you think if it's going to be like a kind of stage process, how do you think businesses should get aligned for that and ready for that? Should they be doing prep now? Are you guys prepping now? Are you thinking about that now, or is it just like take each weekend day?
I'm thinking about it every day. I think, first of all, I don't think they're going to go and just, restaurants are opening next Friday, right? And it's just, because I think they're going to have to, when it does happen, I think it's going to be like social distancing is always still going to be encouraged. I think they're going to look at still reducing capacity in restaurants. They might say restaurants are going to open up, but you've got to reduce capacity by 30%, or all tables have to be a metre away. They're going to encourage that. So I think, firstly, you should be thinking about that side of it, definitely, because I really think that's going to happen. So how you're going to adapt your business to that. That's what I think. Yeah, that's the way I'd be adapting. And then for the longevity for bookings, it's just having a strategy in place. Like, that's why for us, the customer retention touching point, I think what we're doing right now, giving value, just having a presence online, whether it's outsourcing or managing amazingly, like Julie herself, like, it's just these wee touches will always keep you in people's minds in the forefront. And this is just the wee touches, I think, that will make the difference. for when it does open up, you're in people's front mind, because they want that experience you're keeping. So that's why again, touching back, and I think just now more than ever, it's so important to kind of, give out good content, invest time, not money, but invest time and stuff like this,
Everyone has time, don't they? So everyone has loads of time.
That's the one thing everyone's blessed with just now. So, that's it. I think it's just investing time, giving out cool content, making an effort, touching base with customers, thinking about when it opens up, how you're going to strategize your business, because I think it will be reduced capacity. Yeah, I'd just be thinking of stuff like that, really.
Yeah.
What do you think, Julie?
I agree. I think it's actually for the way actually things kind of closed down, the kind of effect at the beginning where we all, I guess for us actually it became like, okay, so we took a couple of tables out, so people weren't as close, and then eventually we stopped letting people in, and then eventually we're just doing collection, and now we're just doing a kind of very, very non-contact collection system. I think that same thing, I think watch what's happened over this time, because I think that mirror effect will happen on the way back. I don't think it'll be like a case of, okay, we're all open and we're going to be out for dinner every night. I think things should hopefully open up the way that they closed. So for example, you go back to maybe just having, as Nico was saying, lesser people in the restaurant, you then kind of, I guess, will get more and more kind of, I guess, back to the way things used to be. But it's I think it'll mirror in maybe a longer process the way that we closed down. Because the way that we all closed down was quite fast and it was quite immediate, and it was very like, right, okay, this is us, we're doing this now. I think it'll be a kind of a more staged effect of the same things that we saw for when we were closing down. And I think just getting prepared for that and being honest with people, because that's the thing. I think you're not getting anyone moaning about this. You're not getting any unhappy customers because everyone knows exactly what's going on. So it's kind of brought everyone back to this like phase of being quite understanding and seeing everything on a base level. So in terms of that, I think just preparing customers for that and being communicative. I mean, like I even think of like, God, other restaurants that I miss right now. I'd love to see what they're up to. I'd love to see what the owners are cooking in their houses. I'd love to see like how they're prepping for stuff. And I think just being straight up around this time is probably the best thing. There's nothing to hide because we're all going through the same thing. So
yeah,
I think patience as well is a big thing. I think like if the government announce, on the Monday, restaurants can open up as a part capacity on the Friday, like why do make it Friday? I'd personally, what I would do, I'd be making it the Monday, giving a week of preparation, a week of planning, a week of making sure it's right, rather than rushing and kind of adapting to whatever gets thrown at us as well. I wouldn't be, they set a date and you aim for that date. I'd be kind of doing it in my own time frame to make sure that we are ready for it, whether it's strategy for the marketing up to it, we adapt the business to it. I think that's the kind of things I'd be thinking. Well, that's the thing that I'm thinking of just now.
I think we'll be putting on a full menu of celebration party for throwing that. So I think it's definitely just reacting, but in a sensible way at that point. Not rushing back into it, because we all know what it's like to, I guess, be closed for a while and open back up in a whim, and you're not quite ready, and you get people who are unhappy. And these people are people like us who have been waiting for the meals that they've been kind of craving for months. Who knows how long this will last? So yeah, I think getting it right is definitely important. Totally agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think everyone's time they have now should be invested in thinking about what they can do when they open back up and how to do it properly, because at the same time, everybody's going to be competing against each other. Back to school, back to office, back to restaurants. It's going to be it's going to be something nobody's ever experienced before. So it's going to be an adaptation to the max.
Yeah, see, for me, like right now, this time is like, this is the first time probably ever that it doesn't matter how many restaurants you've got. It doesn't matter how much you've spent fitting out your restaurant. It doesn't matter where your restaurant's located. Like, it's the first time it's like a even playing field. ever. You know, it's the first time where all that stuff is just kind of out the window. It's not an advantage anymore. So yeah, now it's an even playing field because everyone's just got to strategize and think outside the box and yeah, create content and kind of put the investment in now for when it opens back up. And I think you'll see personally a lot of the PLCs and stuff like that being a bit lazier with that kind of approach. But we'll see.
I also think in another side, restaurants will understand how important their customers are, because I think the customers are going to be the central point to opening back up your restaurants. And even during this period as well, you guys investing in content, those are the guys that are engaging with you, and they are your influencers. Do you know what I mean? They are who's going to influence the next people to come back to your restaurant after you open back up. And it's super important, as you said, Nico, to be patient to get that experience right, because those are the guys that backed you for over the years, and those are the guys that are going to come back first and create the next word of mouth traction for your business to move forward, which I think is super cool. Super cool. Okay. Anything else we need to touch on? Any other talking points before I go into the Q&A section, which is an exciting Instagram Q&A section from Nico's customers, which I'm going to adapt for you as well, Julie.
Lovely.
I'm happy for the Q&A.
Right. So question number 1 from Chatwood at 6 by Nico London. Where did you get the inspiration for the format of your restaurant? And Julie, to you, I'll ask the same thing. Where did you get the inspiration for your restaurant? So Nico, do you want to go first?
The inspiration all started from 111 for me. It was when 111 happened, and we touched on it last week, when we kind of ended up exploiting our market and why is it at that price point. That's where I wanted to do I just knew I wanted a tasting menu in a restaurant. And then we got offered the first site in Finniston. And I remember having a conversation with you. And it was like, what can we do here in Finniston? There's steak restaurants, fish restaurants, Italian, fine dining, and everything. So it was, what can we do here? And then it was the simple thing, well, why do we have to decide? Why can we not cook French one week and Italian next? And then from there, everything just kind of evolved from there. We were thinking, how long do we do that for before we change it? 4 weeks is too short, 8's too long, 6 weeks is perfect. We came up with a name. We then we were investing in video content for 111. We kind of paired that together and just kind of all evolved from like a very simple conversation. It wasn't like pre-thought or anything. It was very kind of spur of the moment, just kind of evolved, really.
Yeah.
Love that.
Love it.
Yeah, because like I guess your concept keeps you it keeps you fresh, because it keeps you cooking loads of different things and constantly get to think about food. I'm very envious of that concept.
What about you, Julie? Where did your inspiration come from? I know myself, but why don't you tell the masses?
So it's I guess quite a lot of the, like, I guess my kind of daily life is that I just loved cooking dinner for people, and loved food, loved talking about it, loved thinking about it, and actually left my job in retail and just went straight into cooking with no real plan. Again, I quite like the fact that Nico was saying that as well. I feel like there's never a set plan in place for this is your 3-year plan. It just kind of happens. And then you're like, okay, yeah. I've got a restaurant now. And yeah, it's obviously mostly from my mum's cooking, because she came over here in the 70s to become a nurse, and she brought like all of her Malaysian recipes. And I've always grown up around that food, but as a teenager, I never really took it in as like a thing of like, okay, I'm going to own a restaurant one day. It just has been part of my kind of fabric. And then, it started up a street food stall. And then that evolved into our little Kopitiam just now. So it's all been a very kind of natural progression of just, I guess, what my mum taught me and kind of putting that down on a plate, which feels quite nice. It's been like a way to kind of connect with, I guess, being half Malaysian in Glasgow as well. So it was that kind of outlet that made it all happen.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I remember tasting one of your curries for the first time, and it was magical. I think it was at the SWG3 Yardworks or something like that. It's class.
Oh, yeah. when we can contributors apart.
Shout out to SWG3. So question number 2, Nico, when you reopen after the lockdown, are you still planning to open with the chippy? That's from Liaison Dining. It's sitting on the 6 by Nico London Instagram. And Julie, I'll ask you, are you planning to reopen the same menu, or are you going to open with a new menu with some new dishes on there as well?
I'm 100% opening with chippy for London, yeah. So it's just going back to the start, yeah, 100%. Okay, short and sweet.
I am definitely going to be putting on some celebration food. I think I'm going to have a look at, like, I guess, any kind of party food that we do in Malaysia. There's like all these kind of noodly tossed salads that are very theatrical, and we're going to put on a celebration menu. I think we're going to put on the old classics that people love, with a couple of wee party tricks in there as well.
Nice. Look forward to it. Question number 3, and this is directed to Nico. Me and you discussed this, the Home by Nico concept that you rolled out. There's been a question on the Instagram asking, will this amazing meal for 4 be available for 2 people? Yeah. Julie, what is available on your takeaway menu?
So
Julie, go on. You go, Julie.
We're just doing a kind of platter for 2 or 3 people, and you can choose. You can maybe get a couple of platters, and you can bank them in your freezer if you want to. But yeah, we're just kind of keeping it short and simple and just doing a new set menu every week.
And for me, doing it for 2 people, something we'll definitely look at in the future. But for just now, we've made the conscious decision, just like in our 6 Nico menu, it's just the one product. So the reason for that is it's just like, for us, it's trying to deliver something consistent. And I think if we start throwing curveballs in there, like doing it for 2 and 3, I just want to try and minimize as much risk for error and focus on the quality. So it's just that one product, need to get it right, obviously deliver it safely. So it is something we'll definitely look into in the future, but for just now, we're just adapting to this kind of new concept. It's just, we just want to try and stick it to the one product just now, until we kind of get used to the teams, until we just get used to the whole system, basically. So it is something we'll definitely look into in the future, but for just now, we're just sticking to the one product.
And like Julie, can you put that into the fridge or freezer and keep it so you can eat it? For example, if I ordered it for me and my girlfriend for 2, can I eat the second half of it 2 days later or 1 day later?
Of course. Yeah. Chinese, and eat the Chinese for breakfast the next morning, don't you? So
for 4, if I ordered it for 4, I could just have it split over 2 nights.
Yeah, definitely. I think it also, because consciously people minimising how much they're going in and out the house. Sorry, I'm going to put my laptop on the charge because we are in a real quarantine meeting. So yeah, with people kind of going in and out the house less, I figure that if you buy like kind of batch of it, you've got a bit of space in the freezer, you can just pop it in there, and then that saves another trip to the shops, or it saves another trip out. You can get your once a day exercise instead. So yeah, I think that giving people that option to cook it at home and they can have it fresh will kind of work. I think that's what I was just thinking about, what I would want in the house. I think that's what I would like, just to know that I've got something in the freezer that I can just grab out, and it'll be so yeah.
Cool, guys.
Effortless.
Effortless, yeah. Last question. Nico, is there a theme idea you've had for a while but haven't been able to bring to fruition? And Julie, I'll just ask you the same. But has there been an idea or a menu that you've had an idea for and you've never brought it to the table? Maybe spend this time to figure out that. What do you think, Nico?
Yeah, there's definitely been themes and ideas we've had that we've never brought. And it's just, a part of it's a fear factor. Just because obviously these themes are what kind of drive the restaurant. It's whether it is stuff that I'd be excited about, but I don't know, as well with multiple cities. Like for example, I've wanted to try and do vegan as a theme, but I'm worried in case I narrow my market too much. When I thought of an idea of like adapting that to maybe doing like vegan game. So you run two menus at the same time. You do a veg, so you have your vegan menu and game menu, and the guests get to choose. So there is a few definitely a few I've thought of, but kind of I've put on the back burner. I'm just not 100% sure yet. But yeah.
I think that people trust your cooking enough. Do you know that? I think because you've shown all your different things and they're all incredibly creative and delicious. I think people love that. I mean, I can't speak for the masses, but yeah, I think that'd be good. Sounds good to me. I'll come and try it.
And Julie, do you think you've had what ideas have you had that maybe haven't came to fruition on menus or even restaurant ideas? Has there been anything?
I've got 1%, mate.
Oh, do you?
We're wrapping up now. We're wrapping up after this question, so let's just let the universe decide. Don't worry, we've got this.
So for me, it's restaurant ideas. I'm going to go fast because obviously Nico's 1% battery in our real quarantine meeting. So it's probably restaurant ideas. I have always loved the idea of, because I love eating them, I love dumplings. I'd love to have a look to see. I know it's a laborious dish to do. So again, like Nico, there is a bit of fear within that logistically, how you get that up and running smoothly. So I've been thinking of that for a long time. But yeah, I think a dumpling place and a little bao bun place is something that we've been thinking about for a while. So hopefully this will give us the time to think about and make those things go into fruition.
That'll be cool.
I think I've spoken about that too.
Nico, do a dumpling menu. We'll do
Well, that's another opportunity. I reckon a collab should come out of this of some sort. You guys come together 100%. For an evening to celebrate, and I think that would be a good note to leave this on. Thanks. I think we'll all discuss that down the line. I think that would be amazing.
100%. 100%.
So
we're talking to the
right, we should hang out again after this, but thanks, Julie, for joining us. 100%.
Thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate it.
And lovely speaking to both of you as well.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Stay safe, guys. Thank you.
Stay safe. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.